Hello guys, Robot1 here, coming at you with a new Yu-Gi-Oh video, and in today's Yu-Gi-Oh video, I'm going to be showing you my 9-0 double first place deck profile, because, well, I came first place at 2 different locals with this deck. I've done really well with this deck, surprisingly, literally just going 9-0, meaning I've lost 0 matches through 9 different matches, and honestly, absolutely insane, and I've come first place at both of these locals, and I thought, seeing as I was able to do that, and the deck is really strong in this format, and it's a very powerful deck, I would even show you, because hell, I even came 3rd place at the locals that I went to this Friday as well, so I went 3-1 at that locals, only really losing to, well, time, because, well, we run out of time, and I was against Prank Kids, and honestly, I was playing against so many different meta decks with this. I was playing against Dragon Link, I was playing against Prank Kids, I was playing against, well, Elder Lich, I've played against Albaz as well, like, twice, which was funny, and yeah, like, this deck just performs very well, and I thought I'd show it off today. And I will be honest, guys, if you're gonna play this deck, play it if you want to win. Don't play it if you want to have fun, because this deck is not a deck that's really built to have fun. It's more of a deck that's just built to be like, I'm going to do the same thing every time turn 1, I'm going to stop you from playing the game, and then I'm going to win. And this deck is Phantom Knights. Now, this is Brave, Adventure, Phantom Knight, whatever you want to call it, with Scythe block and DPE. This is a 45 card list, and honestly, I think the deck is really strong. I know the deck is really strong, especially seeing as I was able to win, well, technically 12-1 in the span of 3 different locals, and honestly, the deck performs very well, and because of that, I thought it's definitely something to show. If you want to win, you gotta play this, and honestly, it only really loses to Lancia, and if you do get Lancia, you can still play through that Lancia as well, because I was Lancia'd multiple times in these matches, and even still, I was able to play through it and still win, funny enough. And I'll be honest with you, 9 of the matches that I played, I lost the dice roll about 7 times. So even going 2nd, you can still do very well with this deck. So let's go ahead and show off the deck, show you guys what this deck has, and basically talk about the deck in general. So let's go ahead and put the extract to the side and get into it. So starting off, we're obviously playing a PK engine. We play the 3 Torn Scale. He's the one that discards and sends a Phantom Knight to the graveyard. We play 3 Boots. He's the 3 Special Summon. Pretty much you just want to open up with 2 level 3 monsters to be able to go full combo in this deck, where you end on literally 9 times out of 10 Brave package plus DPE Scythe. And honestly, these are your most important PKs, which is why we play 3 of them. Because this one can not only fill up your graveyard, but it can special summon itself from the graveyard, and this one is just a free special summon that can give you another monster as well at times if you really want. And it can also give you spells and traps, which is the monster because we play Shade. We also play 2 Ancient Cloak, because Ancient Cloak is pretty much your monster search. If you open Torn Scales and Ancient Cloak, you normally want to go ahead and go normal Torn Scales, go ahead and get an Enchantress if you have the Brave package, go ahead and make Cherubini, and then probably put this in the graveyard so you can go ahead and banish it, get 2 level 3 monsters, go ahead and go full combo there. Or if you want to go into the negate and you have an additional extender, you just go Cherubini, send this anyway, and you don't get the Water Enchantress, you just get the Griffin Rider to have the Omni. We play 1 Ragged Gloves because he's pretty much just there as an additional way to send to the graveyard. If we do use Torn Scales, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be sending the Ragged Gloves to the graveyard. Reason behind that is that Ragged Gloves is just the best card to put in the grave, because 1, it doesn't put a trap in your graveyard, so you can still use the Shake Brigandine, and 2, it can put a trap card in your graveyard to give you a Monster Reborn, but it can also put any Phantom Knight you're missing back into your graveyard. So say you've banished your Torn Scales to go into a Cherubini, or say you need a cloak to go ahead and get a Torn Scales or a Boots, you can just go ahead and banish the gloves, put one of these in the graveyard, and then you just have access to it instantly. And then 1 Stained Greaves. This is pretty much just, oh, I've already used the free special summon from Boots, so instead of banishing the cloak to get Boots, we banish the cloak, special summon, we'll search the Stained Greaves, special summon the Torn Scale from grave, and then we special summon the Greaves, giving us the 2 level 3 monsters. That's pretty much what he's there for. You can also banish him to special summon a Phantom Knight from graveyard, so there is that too, but you're 9 times out of 10 going to be using him for that. That's the Phantom Knight monsters. Like, honestly, this is pretty standard lineup, I'd say, in terms of Phantom Knights, because you don't really want to play anything else. You've got your 3 Torn Scale, your 3 Boots for extenders, and the best ones. Then you've got the 2 Cloak and the Gloves and the Greaves. This is pretty standard, I'd say, in terms of a PK lineup, but it's the best lineup, so we're obviously going to play it. Going on to the Brave monsters, we're playing 3 Water Enchantress and 1 Griffin Rider. Pretty much this Water Enchantress is a free special summon, so if you do open up 2 of her or her with a Rite of Armisia, you get a free special summon for a level 3 monster. And also she can search Rite of Armisia by banishing herself from either your graveyard or hand, so you want to be playing 3 of her. And it's also really good in this deck for the pure fact that you can send it with Cherubini, so if you do open Torn Scales and Boots, then that just guarantees that you can go Brave package plus also full combo into Scythe DPE, because you just go ahead and send her to the graveyard, and then, well, that gives you instant access into literally anything you want. So literally you go DPE Scythe with the Brave engine, and then you play obviously the 1 Griffin Rider, because he shuffles himself back as an Omni Negate if you got a Brave token, and also he's a free special summon, so technically if you've bricked him and you don't have a way to get to the Brave package, then just special summon him, normal summon something else, go into Verti Anaconda, make DPE and maybe a set card. So just an additional monster extender as well, which is really, really nice. Those are the only Brave monsters we're playing. Then we also play 1 Wielder, 1 Tracker. Pretty much these 2 are just very, very solid. If you control level 3, special summon them. So just extenders. They're good with E-Tilly as well because they're psychic. So I just think they're the best level 3 extenders you can be playing in this deck. So yep, very, very good. And then also for just random one-off pieces, we play obviously the Celestial and the Dasher for DPE, and then the Artifact Scythe just so we can go ahead and lock our opponent from the edge deck. Honestly, this build is, as I said, not built for fun. It's built to win. So if you are going into this, every game you don't make DPE Scythe, you're gonna have fun, but every game you do, it's gonna be kind of just dull because you're just saying, oh yeah, my opponent can't play the game, and then you win from there. But you have to play one of each of these. These are the biggest bricks in your deck. Well, Scythe is less of a brick, I'd say, because you can just set it instead of going into the Artifact Dagda. But if you draw these 2, it does suck because you don't want to discard them, you don't want to do anything with them, you just want to send them to the graveyard with Fusion Destiny. So it does suck. It's also one of the reasons why we're playing 45 cards, because it means less chance of actually drawing these cards. So yeah, and then just hand trap lineup, we're playing 3 Ash Blossom and then 3 Ghost Ogre. These are just probably the best hand traps this format. Ash Blossom just has such a wide coverage against Rogue, against Prank Kids, against like so many different things. And then Ghost Ogre, you have to play it because of every deck plays the Brave package. So if you're up against the Brave package, you just Ogre their equip spell, continuous spell, and then you just stop them from playing the game. So card is very good, card is very strong, and also you can summon it with E-Telly, which is really good. Those are all the monsters though. Pretty standard lineup, I'd say. I wish I could fit more hand traps in it, but with 45 already, we can only really fit 6 hand traps in it, and that's the biggest downfall with this deck, because I do side more hand traps, but if we lose the die roll, it is kind of hard. But as I said, I lost 7 dice rolls and I was able to win almost every single game, and like it's very, very good. Like every dice roll I lost, I still won. Like it was really crazy. So yeah, but I wish I could fit more hand traps. It's just like I don't want to go over 45. I feel like that's already a really big number. But going into spell cards, we're playing the 3 Rite of Armisia, the 1 Fateful Adventure, and the Draco back. Pretty much, you want to play 3 Rite of Armisia because it makes the token, the Adventure token, which I have a nice little copy over here, and also allows you to place Fateful Adventure on the board, so the Fateful Adventure can go ahead and get you your Griffin Rider. And it can also go ahead and discard your PKs, which is really, really nice. And also, when a monster is summoned, you just go ahead and add the Draco back Rider from your deck to your hand, which gives you discard fodder for your Torn Scales, discard fodder for your Faithful Adventure if there's a card in your hand you don't want to discard. Pretty much this package is just very, very consistent, and all of it equals in searching each other except for the Draco back. So honestly, the only brick in this package is literally the Draco back, because if you draw the Draco back, you can't get into any of this, whereas the Faithful Adventure can get you War Enchantress, where you can just send to graveyard to get the Rite of Armisia, or you can get the Griffin Rider, of course, which will allow you to get that Omni Negate or an additional monster extender. So, like, honestly, the engine is very, very strong. It does lock you out of your normal summon effect, though, so just be careful. But, honestly, it's a very good engine, and there's only 1 brick in it in the form of the Dracoback Rider. But Dracoback Rider is also a very strong card as well, guys, for the fact that if you're playing against any deck that plays Mystic Mine or Floodgates, Dracoback Rider is an instant out to those Floodgates. It's an instant out to the Mystic Mine, because all you have to do is equip it to a Rite of Armisia token, or all you got to do is literally equip it to a Shade Brigandine, and then you out it, because as long as it's equipped to a non-effect monster, it just goes ahead and compulses anything, which is really, really strong. Plus, if it's sent to graveyard, you can just equip it to the token. So something I like to do in this deck is literally just go ahead and send it to the graveyard with like DPE or Forbidden Droplets, and then just re-equip it, because it's just free fodder, which is really, really nice. So it's a good card in general. But those are all the cards we really play. We don't really play any more Adventure package or Brave package, whatever anyone likes to call it. But yeah, Going into other stuff though, we do also play the 2 Fusion Destiny. This is obviously just because of, well, it's the DPE package, you have to play it, and yeah, I know them max rarity. Max rarity heroes are my favorite, so we're always going to have high rarity hero cards on this channel. Other than the Dasher, I need an Naughty Dasher. Something on the list. Going into other spells, we play free emergency teleport. Obviously, this is just a free level 3 extender. We summon the Ghost Ogre during our opponent's turn as well, to just have that disruption as well if you want to do that. But it's pretty much just there as an extender. Honestly, most game 2s I side out 2 of it, along with maybe 2 Rite of Armisia, just so I can go ahead and have more disruption from my opponent going second. If I go first though, free Rite and free E-Tele in the main. But yeah, just an extender, very good card. Then we play 1 Rota and 1 Foolish Burial. Both of these cards are very strong. Rota gives us our Torn Scales, and Foolish Burial just goes ahead and puts Rite in the graveyard. So, well, Okra Enchantress in the graveyard, so we can go ahead and get any of our good cards with this one card. So we can go ahead and put the Cloak in the graveyard, search any Phantom Knight. We can put the War Enchantress in the graveyard to search Rite of Armisia to go into the Brave combo. Really good card, and this deck can abuse both of the 2 strongest one-offs in the game, so yeah. And then for just in general interaction cards, we play 3 Forbidden Droplets. Just I need to be able to play the game, and if my opponent has a board of a ton of Omni Negates, then I'm gonna drop the droplets. I'm gonna send like 3 cards to the graveyard. All of them will be usable because they'll be PK cards, or they'll be Water Enchantress, or there'll be a card that's fine going to the graveyard, and then we'll just go ahead and play the game from there. And then we also play 1 Called by the Grave, because this card says screw Scythe, this card says screw Hand Traps, this card just says I can play the game, and especially seeing as droplets, we can also just say screw Scythe as well. Just should have mentioned that too. Like, this deck is built around the meta, and I'm really happy with how it is. Like, I like the lineup that I've gone with, and I'm really happy with how I've kind of just built it. Like, it was something that took me a bit to get the right ratios, and I'm happy with how it works. And then into the extra deck, we're playing 2 Fogblade, 1 Wings, and 1 Shade Brigandine. Pretty much the logic behind this is I would like to play 3 Fogblade, but I found that I need to play the Shade Brigandine, and in any Phantom Knight deck, I feel like the max lineup of traps you should play is 4, because you don't want to brick on them. And there has been games where I've opened 1 and sent it to the graveyard with Fateful Adventure, and there has been hands where I haven't, but honestly, I think the best lineup is 4. So honestly, because we're playing the Shade Brigandine and because we're playing the Wings, I feel like this is the perfect lineup, and they all have their purposes. Obviously, Fogblade is just a negate during my opponent's turn, / a Monster Reborn. Wings is a Monster Reborn mainly, but if we do have to set it, we can go ahead and set it, and then target a monster we control and prevent it from 1 destruction. And then the Shade Brigandine is pretty much just monster extension. So if we've got a Boots in graveyard, we banish it, we get this, we go further with our monster extension, and we can play the game more. So all of them have a purpose, and they're all really strong in their own right. But yeah, that's pretty much the main deck. Nothing really to say about the main deck. I'm really happy with it. I've been working on it for a bit, and honestly, seeing as it went 9-0 / well, 12-1 through multiple tournaments, the deck does really well. It does really, really well. But going on to the extra deck though, we're playing 1 Spider. This is pretty much just to link off your Brave token or the Shade Brigandine to allow you to go into Verti Anaconda. 1 Verti Anaconda, just go ahead and make DPE to allow you to DPE lock. With Scythe, 1 Cherubini, 2 level 3s equals full combo every time, so why not play Cherubini? The card is absolutely insane. 1 IP Masquerena. We only make IP really when our opponent has interrupted our combo. So we say we've been Veiled on our Verti Anaconda. We just go ahead and make the IP with what we have left, so we can go ahead and Night their Unicorn during their turn. That's really the only purpose of IP Masquerena. It's just a plan B if we do get stopped. So yeah, and I will be honest, this plan B has won me games, and it is a very, very strong card in general because of it. Like, I've gotten Veiled multiple times on my Verte, and every time I've just made the IP Masquerena, looked at my opponent and been like, play the game. Oh, you summoned a Prank Kid, or you summoned a card that really needs to stay on the board. Well, I'm just gonna Unicorn it away, and I win the game because of it. It's very, very strong. 1 Dagda to go ahead and get Scythe. It's also very good because if you do keep this on the board, you can go ahead and destroy it again during the next turn to just Scythe them again, which is kind of funny. 1 Dark to steal their DPE, to steal their Dark monsters, to allow me to go into like Access Code Talkeresia or anything along those lines. Card is very, very strong, so 1 Dark is very necessary in this format. 1 Rusty Bard each. I'm going to be honest, barely make this card anymore. It's a card that does need to be there just in case we need it as a backup plan, so we can go ahead and send a Phantom Knight to the graveyard and then set a spell trap. But in all honesty, ever since the Brave package was introduced, I don't really make it, and it's not really necessary. I guess it is kind of a plan B as well if our Verti gets killed, because then we can go into a break sword, and then just send it to graveyard, have the trap in graveyard to summon the break sword back to then pop the Scythe. But it's not really necessary anymore. Again, I'm cutting it, but I just think it's too good a card to cut, especially because of it can just be an extender, it can be a free monster, and honestly, the worst part about it is I can't link it off. If I could link it off, it would be insane, but that's pretty much just the only bad thing with this card. But it's still strong, it's still needed in the deck, I think, but yeah, it's just one of those things where it's a good card, but I don't think I should cut it. Yeah, it's pretty much something like that. One Nightmare Unicorn, just for removal, obviously, we said with the IP Mask Arena. Access Code Talker, this is how we OTK 9 times out of 10. We just banish stuff, pop cards, attack for game. Pretty much simple as it with Access Code Talker. He's just free removal / a very big body. One Levianeer, the Sea Dragon, very important in this deck. This is how you normally go ahead and guarantee your turn 1 DPE Scythe, because you use the Cherubini and the Levianeer to make Dagda, then you turn the Cloak to defense, and then Dagda goes in and sets Scythe, and then you just use the Cloak and the Dagda to just go ahead and make, well, DPE, well, Verte into DPE. So that way you have the DPE lock with Scythe. Like, that's pretty much the combo, and it's very important. I wish I could play more of it personally, because I think it's still a very good card, but in this build we don't play Utopic Future Draco, so no space really. And then we play 2 Break Sword. This is the only 2 of extra card we play. It's just free removal, it can attack my opponent's monsters, it can be a very strong card, and it can be even an extender where we just go ahead and pop an opponent's card, then bring back 2 Phantom Knights, make the Verti Anaconda, and go from there. It's removal that can allow us to continue our combo. It's very, very good. 1 Downing Magician for the Zeus play, along with the Zeus, obviously. No real reason not to play these. Like, they're very good, and Zeus is just an insane card. Like, every time I've looked at my opponent, summoned an Xyz monster, and then said battle phase, they've either reacted and literally just lost because of it, or I've just gone into the Zeus, cleared their board, and won. Like, the card is very, very strong. And then finally, 1 DPE, because it's DPE, the card is insane, it pops cards, it literally brings itself back, it decreases opponent's monster attack points. The card is absolutely insane, and in this build, with Scythe, you're gonna be playing this card. But yeah, that's the extra deck. So pretty much, I would say this extra deck is pretty clear. It's just made to combo off to allow you to go ahead and DPE Scythe / have backup plans, just OTK your opponent. That's pretty much the whole play of the deck, and that's how I've kind of built the deck. But finally, going on to the side deck that we played, we play 3 Token Collector. This is pretty much here just for Sword Soul. You could put it in against Brave, but I don't see the point. Like, unless I see an Auroradon combo deck, or I see like a Sword Soul deck, I'm just like, nah, this card doesn't need to go in, or there's better stuff to side in. So yeah, but this is here for those combo decks, just so I can go ahead and summon this and watch them just pass turn. Like, that's pretty much how this card goes. You're up against the Sword Soul deck, you summon this, they don't have their token left, they don't have anything left, so they pass turn. Or you go ahead and summon this against Auroradon, and then you just see them summon 3 tokens, lose all 3 tokens, tribute their Auroradon, and then probably kill this, but you're probably not going to let them get to the Auroradon full stop when this card is on the board. So yeah, pretty much because of that. Then we play Freelancia. Card is insane in this format. If you play against my deck, especially if you play against any deck that requires banishing, this card is really, really strong, so we play 3 of it. Honestly, I have been debating on cutting it, because of my deck has been, well, this deck has been seeing a lot of decline in play recently, but I feel like because this card is still just very, very strong against any deck that says banish, especially something like Plunderies, the card is still very, very strong, so I still want to play it at 3, but it's something I have been debating, but I feel like the card is just too strong to get rid of right now. 3 Nibiru for those combo decks. If I see Prankids, we drop it on the Prankids player. If we see Sword Soul, we put it in against Sword Soul. Card is very, very strong, and definitely a very good card this format, I'd say. Just because as long as they don't have the Brave package on board, or you can stop them from getting the Brave package and you have the Nibiru, they're going to lose, and Nibiru is just insane because of it. 3 Cosmic Cyclone. Logic behind this is because of Prankids, you can go ahead and hit their Prankids Pandemonium on the standby phase against DPE Scythe. If they use the DPE, you just go ahead and Cosmic Cyclone the Scythe, so they have to destroy 2 other cards they have, well, the DPE and another card they have. So honestly, there's just a lot of reason behind this card, and I really like the idea of just being able to standby phase. Oh yeah, you change your DPE, well, I'm gonna go ahead and use Cosmic, banish your Scythe, you can't Scythe block anymore, you've lost your pop, and also you just can't play the game. And because of that, it's very, very strong, and I really like the interaction against obviously Prankids, where they can't Pandemonium me in my turn if I go ahead and Cosmic Cyclone the Pandemonium. So card's very, very nice. And then finally, 3 Lightning Storm, all back row decks I put this in against. Even Sword Soul I put this in against, because 9 times out of 10, these combo decks and these combo players like to put their monsters in attack mode. So if I see a Sword player, I'm going to put the Lightning Storm in the free. If I see a back row player, I'm going to put this in it free. If I see a combo player in general that likes to put their stuff in attack mode, I'm going to put the Lightning Storm in at free, because, well, if I Lightning Storm you, you either have to waste a negate, or I have to drop this to stop that negate, and then I'm just going to clear all of your monsters pretty much. So card is very, very strong. Card can wipe back row, card can wipe monsters, and it's just very, very versatile and very strong because of it. But yeah, that's pretty much the side deck. And guys, that is the deck profile though. Honestly, I really think this is an amazingly strong deck, this format. PK Adventure has always been something in this format that I've looked at and thought, yeah, this is insane, this is dumb, and honestly, it is a deck that is to be feared. But guys, what is your personal thoughts though? Because honestly, I think this deck is very unfun. This deck is not built to play for fun. This deck is built to just win. And yes, if you are players who just want to win, fair enough, play this deck, have fun with it. But if you want to actually have fun, I would say recommend you play the Utopic Future Draco version of this deck, because it doesn't play Scythe, it doesn't play DPE. Yes, it makes lots of negate, but the ceiling is a lot higher. It's got a lot more intricate plays and is a lot more enjoyable to play, and can also have an interactive game with your opponent. So that's just me. If you don't want to play, obviously, the DPE Scythe combo, but if you want to play DPE Scythe combo, if you want to win, if you just want to guarantee, oh yeah, I go first, I make Scythe, I make Brave Engine, and then just win, I'd say play this deck. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say though, guys. Like, this deck is very simple, this deck is very clear, it has a very easy turn 1, game 1. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to say. Like, this deck is simple, this deck is easy, and it's pretty much just here to say I'm a very, very strong deck. I'm not going to let you win the game, and I'm going to stop you from using your X deck. So yeah, that's all I have to say, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. And yeah, there will be a combo video on this, just so you can see like how the combo goes and how it works. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next one. Robot1 signing out. Tell me what you think of this disgusting deck. Later all.